And live.
Good evening. Welcome. Welcome to our bi-monthly, what we call a General Assembly or Community Forum for the Casa de Oro Alliance. Tonight, we decided that it would be important that we share with the community the accomplishments we made in 2020. I sat here a year ago sharing with the community that 2020 would be a year of clear vision for us. And I have a feeling that most of us believe it was far from it. 2020 presented so many amazing, unexpected challenges. And nonetheless, our board, our dedicated nonprofit board, continued to work on its goals this year. And tonight, we are, despite the challenges that COVID 19 presented to us, we're happy to share with you, and the board will do this individually by topic, the many goals that we set out to accomplish this year, despite the many challenges we face. Um, if you have comments, questions, thoughts, or suggestions about any of these topics, we welcome you to add that to the chat room. Um, Dusty, who is kind of producing this, we'll take a look at those. We will definitely address every one of them. Anything that is really pressing that's relevant to this list of things we cover tonight, we'll try, if time permits, to address that. I want to start off by sharing something that I read on Facebook. Maybe some of you also have seen this. It's a child training their dog and says, to make a difference in someone's life, you don't have to be brilliant. You don't have to be rich. You don't have to be beautiful, or you have to be perfect. You just have to care. And tonight I want to share with you, having been president of this association and this alliance for almost 7 years now, the results of what caring means to this community, who've undertaken a huge challenge to restore and revitalize this community back to something that we can all be proud of. What we've done tonight then is to share what we think are the highlights of those accomplishments. None of these are more or less important than anything else. It all combines to show the progress we're making towards the vision we have set out to accomplish. I'm going to start by sharing with you work that the Alliance has been working on probably 3 or 4 years with the outgoing superintendent, Diane Jacob, who retired, as you know, this month officially. We had the pleasure as an Alliance board to be invited to quarterly meetings with the supervisor and county staff, in which we presented an agenda for her to share with county staff so we can get accountability, so to speak, on topics that were relevant and important to the board. She shared with us from the very beginning that one of her outgoing goals was to see if we could establish a library in Casa de Oro. One of our board members, Alan Arthur, a broker, worked with the county for many years looking at different options to find that land. And there's, as you know, not a lot of open space in Casa de Oro. But she was committed to finding the money in the county's budget, upwards of $20 to $23 million, to build a 13,000 square foot new library here in Casa de Oro. And that excited all of us, but we couldn't find a place to build it. There's not too many owners of property who want to sell. Those that did want to sell, the county didn't want to pay that much money for. It came upon this board that there was significant land behind the old Spring Valley Middle School, now called the Spring Valley Academy on Conrad and Campo Road, that after walking that with the prior superintendent of schools for La Mesa Spring Valley School District, Brian Marshall, and the current superintendent, that there's land back there. So to make a long story short, after 2 years of discussion and negotiation and looking at access, we have now put in place, not we, but the county, on our behalf, a lease agreement to lease the land required to build that 13,000 square foot library behind the Spring Valley Academy. There will be access to that library off of Campo Road, the details of which I can't share with you tonight, but we're excited about that location. We're excited about the fact that the county has already spent upwards of $400,000 to move forward with various requirements to access that land and get approval from the state through CEQA. And we're moving forward on what we as a board envision as a field of dreams for Casa de Oro, which behind that library is an existing Little League field, a AYSO soccer field, and discussions have continued to move forward on the potential of a Boys and Girls Club and or a teen center adjacent to that library, which would complete that field of dreams for Casa de Oro and provide the necessary open space for our students and our friends in Casa de Oro. So we're excited about that. We will continue to pursue those goals with the current supervisor, Joel Anderson, which we'll speak about a little bit later. So if you have any questions about that, please refer to our chat room to address those questions. So with that, I don't know if our lieutenant is on board. Is he? Do you see him, Dusty? The next topic would have been something that comes to my attention a lot, and I'm sure most of you, and that is the illegal dispensaries along Campo Road, etc. The new one on Dolores. Since he's not here, when he does get here, we'll go back to the lieutenant to address the developments and the closure of those dispensaries. But I would defer now to Alan Arthur, who is going to be talking about some work that the county has done to enhance Casa de Oro. Alan.
Hello, everybody. So basically what we have done, if you noticed a few months ago, probably finished up right around mid-year, the new sidewalks that are on the south, that would be the southeast side of Kenwood, that runs along real close to the Carl's Jr. there, and the culvert that's there also there. Those sidewalks were put in by the county for us on our behalf after we pointed out that we wanted to renovate and make that entrance to Casa de Oro our front door, and put a welcome to Casa de Oro sign, a new welcome to Casa de Oro sign in that location. I think we're starting to see the change, and I think that our community should be really happy about the direction that we're going.
Okay. And did you speak about the asphalting on Kenwood as well, Alan?
No, I didn't. The asphalting on Kenwood, that was basically, I'm thinking that was more of along the lines of what they were doing throughout the area of new asphalt in several locations in several neighborhoods throughout the community, and that was something that was on the list for the Public Works Department.
Both are nice improvements to our community, for sure. Yeah. Okay, thank you, Alan. Next. I think the next person up is it Roy?
I don't think it's me. So someone, Alan was, I'm sorry, did Alan, you just talking about the sidewalk improvements?
Yes.
He's done.
Sorry, I missed that.
You're next, Roy.
Thank you. I had to step away. Yeah. So the other, one of the other accomplishments is the bus benches and covered bus benches. So we have 8 new benches along Campo Road between Gladley's Coffee and the 7-Eleven at the east end, and 4 of those are covered. So that was a long process. Vince actually on our committee did most of that heavy lifting and got MTS to step it up from 2 to 4 covered benches. And so we're real excited about that. That's a nice improvement to the street.
Yes, thank you. Did you have another topic, Roy, that you want to address, or should we move to the next topic?
Just go to the next one. Thanks.
Okay, I think, Ed, are you up?
Yeah, sure, Bob.
Please, Ed.
Thank you. Good evening, everyone. One of the other items that has been important to us is Campo Road itself. I think people have heard, and it'll be discussed later, about a specific plan that might change the design and the look of Campo Road. Meanwhile, that could be many years coming. So we applied for a program called the Neighborhood Revitalization Grant Program. This was a program that's run out of Supervisor Diane Jacobs' office. I want to say thank you again for the opportunity to participate. It's a program that allows grants to nonprofit organizations like ourselves, schools, or others to make physical improvements in their community. So what we did is we put together a package of something called the Campo Road Streetscape Enhancement Program. It's got 5 parts to it. And we recently were awarded about $102,500 by the supervisor's office. So first, again, a thank you to the County of San Diego, who's been a very strong partner of ours all the way along in our efforts. So let me just summarize what is in this project. So it's got 5 parts to it. The first part will be a design plan for the new entrance at Kenwood Drive that Alan just mentioned. So in order to get landscape improvements, the new sign and those types of things, some lighting and additional landscape, will require a plan to be developed. There's some permits and things from the County of San Diego that need to be approved. But with that plan, we'll be able to estimate construction and go back for some additional grant dollars to actually fund the construction of the improvements that will go in the new master plan. So that's one part, master plan for Campo Road entrance. The second is a banner program for the light poles along Campo Road. So we'll be putting up some banners that have thematic artwork, seasonal banners, etc. So that program will be launching through our beautification group. So stay tuned. There'll probably be some information on our website as that program unfolds. The third part of it is movable planters. As most of you know, our landscape environment along Campo Road is a little intermittent, not a lot of trees. So what we were able to do is to get some movable planters. So there will be groups of those that will have trees and shrubs and flowers in them to help to add some aesthetic improvements. They'll be able to be moved. So as things change along Campo Road, we can simply shift those around. The other is the fourth piece is a refurbishment of the street side plaza at the AutoZone building. So this is adjacent to one of the new bus stops that Roy just talked about and adjacent to the new 7-Eleven. So that's an area that will get re-landscaped, the flagpoles repainted, and kind of be able to spruce that area up as an aesthetic improvement. And then the last piece is a media component and an outreach component. So this will keep the community aware of what's happening as these projects progress. We do need to now enter that we have money, enter into some contracts in order to move forward with work. There'll certainly probably be some volunteer opportunities amongst the work. So stay tuned for information through Facebook and the website about our implementing the grant. Thank you.
Okay, after Ed, I believe Mike.
Yes, I'm supposed to talk about the Casa de Oro revitalization plan. And our website only tells you to go talk to the Casa de Oro revitalization plan website page on the website. So if you just search on Google for Casa de Oro revitalization plan, you'll come to a web page that has all kinds of information about what the county's doing to plan for the revitalization of Casa de Oro. Now, at the top of that page right now, you'll notice that there have been 2 workshops in recent months. One was in October and another one was in December. The October one was about guiding principles, and it talked about what the principles that the specific plan is going to be trying to accomplish. And then in December, they talked about some visual preferences and planning concepts. And if you were able to attend either of those presentations, you'll know that what they're talking about is actually changing the amount of traffic on, or not necessarily changing the amount of traffic, but changing the number of lanes used for traffic on Campo Road and moving the buildings closer to the center line of the road to be more more of a village that's friendlier to pedestrian traffic and move some of the parking into the rear of buildings. So it's a completely new concept. There's, you can, if you go to that website, watch those presentations and get up to date. But the activity for 2021 relative to the specific plan is the creation of the specific plan. So they have consultants on board and the staff is working hard to put together a plan and have it reviewed by a number of different organizations, including our organization and the Valley de Oro Planning Group. So there'll be plenty of opportunity for you to communicate about your concerns or your support for the changes that are being proposed in the specific plan. And then about this time next year, we're hoping that the end result will be approved by our Board of Supervisors and become kind of the blueprint or the guideposts or the way forward for Casa de Oro to become a better place for business and for people.
Thanks, Mike. Is there,
So,
Mike, is there any scheduled next community forum that the county has posted that you know of?
They have not. They haven't. The last one that they have posted is December 17th. So I believe they're going to be putting something together, but they haven't put it together
Okay.
yet. I guess additionally, I should say that if you have additional questions beyond, what is a specific plan and how could it work here, the Casa de Oro Alliance put together a pretty good video that you can get on our website to find all about how specific plans work and what kind of things we can look for as possibilities in the Casa de Oro corridor.
Very good. All right, thank you, Mike. Okay, I guess we now have Holly to talk about Estrella Park.
Yes, hi, welcome everyone. Estrella Park has been in the making for the last 30 years. Around 2017, the county dedicated approximately $18 million towards all parks in District 2. As a result of that and the efforts made by the Alliance through their quarterly meetings with Diane Jacob, emphasis was made on making this park a reality. Last December 18th, a Friday, they had a soft grand opening with Diane Jacobs. This Estrella Park cost the county $1.4 million for developing a 6.6 acre vacant lot. If you haven't been there, it's located at 9813 Estrella Drive. It's near Conrad and Estrella, just behind Santa Sofia Church. Parking is somewhat limited right now. It's street parking. The park is in tremendous use. The 2 times I have actually gone there with our grandson, parking has been a little bit limited. There's lots going on. It seems to be welcomed by the community. Some of the features of the park include a really great suspended bridge, dog path, sand beach, climbing logs, butterfly canyon, slides in swing, a amphitheater. It's kind of small, but there is a place there to have events, picnic tables, a butterfly canyon, and lots of new landscaping. There's also some educational signs throughout the park pointing out, the drought tolerant plants, etc. The park is open daily from sunrise to sunset and is patrolled by the county park rangers. Also, there is a video of the park, if you'd like to see it, through the County News Center, County Park and Rec site, countynewscenter.com/news/. Recently, though, the county has found an additional $2 million for ADA trails, parking, and water quality improvements. So I'd encourage you, if you haven't been there, to drive by and take a little walk down to the center. It's really a great addition to our community.
Yes, it is. Thank you, Holly. Took a long time. I think, as a matter of fact, your organization, the Gross Mountain Helix Improvement Association, some 30 some odd years ago, had it in their minutes when they started discussions with the county to create a park on that open space. So thanks for the update and the invitation. Okay, we're now moving down to the cleanups that take place on a monthly basis. Is that you, Vince?
Yes, it is. Hello, everyone. Vince Sherrod. And I hold a monthly meeting, a monthly cleanup meeting, part of the beautification committee chaired by Lynn Earl. And it's just one of the items we take on. So we just meet the first of Saturday of every month at the Santana's parking lot, the Santana Mexican restaurant down in downtown Casa de Oro, in the parking lot. And we start from there generally, and we usually have about 10 to 12 members that show up, but anyone that is interested in joining, we'd love to have you. And we just, it's a very low-key cleanup, lasts about an hour. We just walk through the main streets of downtown, cleaning up and like I say, wind it up within about an hour. And right now, we're kind of restricted on the COVID, so you're required to wear a mask. And we provide buckets and trash bags, but all your other personal gear, we require that you bring your own so that we're not handling other people's equipment and so forth to keep it as safe as possible. We provide donuts and coffee and water for just the enjoyment, and it's a good time. Makes you feel good when you get through, and it helps out. So love to have you come out and help us out. And then, like I say, the cleanup committee is just one of several facets of the beautification. And one of the other things that Ed talked about, part of the grant, is we'll be putting out those planter pots. We have 15 pots that we're obtaining, and we're going to place them in groups of 3 in some strategic, about 5 locations there along the main corridor of Casa de Oro to try to help beautificate, add to the beauty of the downtown. So we just, that's just one of the other features that we're trying to help improve our town.
Vince, I believe, if my memory serves me correctly, you and your wife have been involved in that cleanup since day one. Is that correct?
Yes, pretty much. So we've been doing it, and we used to have try to get the community more involved before this COVID. We'd have the high school kids join in about twice a year to have more of a major cleanup. But right now it's confined to pretty much downtown. If we get more people, we can kind of enlarge the area a little bit to reach some of these side streets that could use some cleanup also. But right now it's, we stick pretty much downtown, try to make that, at least that corridor look nice.
And you have. I mean, over the years, it continues to get cleaner and cleaner, and you can drive down there any given day these days, and you hardly can see any trash around, except occasionally underneath the covered benches that are sometimes locations for the homeless. But it is much, much cleaner than it was many years ago. So thanks to you, your wife, and the committee, Vince. We appreciate it.
Well, thanks.
So I think, Roy, are you up already, or did you already speak about the signage?
Yeah, hello again. I'll talk about the signage now. So the Alliance, since about 2016-17, has been working with the County Department of Public Works to remove unwanted leftover old signs along Campo Road and to help some of the businesses get a little more in line with what the ordinance actually allows them to put up. And we are also supported then by a county employee who does a once a month drive-by and takes an inventory of the status of the state of signage and what's going on. And I think it's been a big improvement. A lot of that signage that was stuck on fences and plastered on garbage cans is now gone, which is great. There is a county app. If the public wants to make a call or talk about signage, they have a concern, and the county app under the County of San Diego, Google that, is called Tell Us Now. That's 3 words, Tell Us Now. And that will hook you up with an online person, virtual person, and you can talk to them or at least leave your comments about how you feel about the signage.
Yeah.
And where we're at.
Yeah. And we've made a lot of progress with that. I very rarely see any sign that we don't know. For those of you that might ask the question, why are some of the restaurant sign pole flags still up? The county has decided during COVID and the struggle that many of these businesses are having to stay afloat, that it would be probably counterproductive to exert their efforts and take some of these signs down to let people know that they do continue to provide takeout food. So that's why some of those signs are hanging out there. They're not permanent signs, but we're going to overlook them for a while, right, Roy?
Yes, absolutely. Let's give them a break.
Give them a break. Okay, I don't know if we have any representation from the Deering family on the phone or on the line. Do we?
Nope, not currently.
Well, let me just quickly say that Janet Deering has decided to and agreed to chair our Casa de Oro Alliance Advisory Council. Jamie Deering, who effectively is running the company as the CEO, has joined our board of directors. And between the two of them, they would like to take and transition our advisory council made up of predominantly business owners in Casa de Oro and begin to have discussions within this community on a small business association, which was tried in the past. I think we have momentum today that they didn't have years ago. And so they've taken on that responsibility and they were to speak to that tonight. You may or may not know this, the Deering Banjo family, right there off Highway 94 in Kenwood, had their most successful year in 2020 as everybody home wanted to learn how to play the banjo, and they ship all over the world. So with that, we'll go to the next one, which is a pretty exciting news for how we will brand Casa de Oro hopefully in the future. Dusty, would you like to speak to a community in harmony?
Yeah, let me just remove Roy's name tag for myself. Hi everyone, my name's Dustin. I'm one of the co-chairs of the Media and Public Information and Outreach Committee, as well as one of the people spearheading the Community in Harmony project. Essentially, what the goal of this project aims to be is to brand the Casa de Oro community around the ideas of music, as we have Deering Banjos, as we have all of these venues that we really we love them. They're great. So we want to bring them all together. We want to introduce a pretty good project to them that I can't talk about just yet, but if you're interested in joining us or helping out in any way, feel free to reach out to me personally or any of the committees at all at the Casa de Oro Alliance Gmail, casadeoroalliance@gmail.com. And yeah, that's the Harmony Project in a nutshell for now. Stay close because we're going to be bringing tons of concerts, tons of events, and tons of cool things your way that you should be ready for.
Dustin, in your creative mind, have you thought about the possibility if we don't open as a community by hypothetically September, can we begin doing some of this and do it virtual?
Not only virtual, but now that we have this beautiful brand new Estrella open air sort of amphitheater, we could do plenty of things there that, I don't want to step on anyone's toes who may be planning some things, but I've heard some pretty cool rumors about some things potentially in that park, and I think that it's going to be really exciting.
Great. Excellent.
But as far as virtual goes, yeah, that'll be definitely an option that we will be looking into.
Yes. Did I hear a question?
I see someone is asking what types of music, and it's it's a variety of things, isn't it, Dusty? From singing to musical instruments.
Yeah, I mean, the project is all encompassing. It's not going to be limited to one genre of music. It's not going to be limited to even music itself. We have the Young Actors Theater, which are wonderful, wonderful performers. I recommend seeing a play there as soon as you get the chance because they are amazing. We have them. They would be amazing to have anywhere doing shows. We have plenty of other options that I can't get into just yet because we're still in talks with a lot of them, but yes, there's big things in the works and plenty of stuff that we would love to especially get community input from. What kind of music do you guys want to hear? What kind of music or shows are you guys interested in? And that's really what the goal of the project ultimately is bringing the community together.
Yeah, and thanks for that question, Holly, because it's my understanding from talking to the Bates School of Music director that we have many talented musicians in Casa de Oro taking lessons at the Bates School of Music. So this committee will be reaching out to some of our local talent. We may even have talent contests going forward in this community. So we have a lot of resources to call upon, including Monte Vista High School, Cuyamaca College, the churches, etc. So that's one of the thoughts this board has had and the committee will pursue, as to brand Casa de Oro as a place to come to hear music. And we're excited about that. What you've heard in summary is many of the more significant goals that we've accomplished with, again, some amazing, extraordinary volunteers who've been with this project since its inception almost 7 years ago. And what you heard is a common theme, that many of these projects have been underwritten by, endorsed by, supported by, politicized by the county District 2 supervisor. And after 28 years, we lost through term limits Supervisor Diane Jacob, who worked hard on many projects in East County, and was replaced by Joel Anderson, prior state assemblyman. I've reached out to Joel and his chief of staff, sent them issues and topics, et cetera, that we as a board would like to discuss with them, as well as continue our quarterly meetings with the supervisor. And for the Alliance priorities this year, and one I'd like to share with that list with you, the Casa de Oro community, I'm going to just quickly run down what we've drafted as the first agenda list for the supervisor or whoever he designates to be our liaison with his office. We want to continue pursuing library funding. As you know, the county approves their budgets year to year. That budget is pretty much exhausted for this fiscal year, which ends in June. Beginning in July, we will continue to pursue during the next 6 months him making this a priority to continue funding for the library, which I shared with you is upwards of $20+ million. We will also be talking to him about the timing of submitting additional grant requests from the county. Some of our board members and myself believes that we should behave in some respects as a chamber and ask for funding, much like the other communities receive for supporting their local chambers to support our operations and some of our objectives. We also will prioritize what we continue to hear are some new ordinance that may be put in place to address the illegal dispensaries in East County. We want to see what Joel's intentions are there. We will also talk to him about educating him, as well as keeping him or making this a priority for Joel, and that is the Sandag grant and the accomplishments of the specific plan. Sidebar is that Joel Anderson grew up in this region. He and his family have attended Santa Sophia Church over the years and still do. He has a place in his history and his heart for Casa de Oro, which we're happy to share with him. And then we will introduce an idea that came to the board just recently, which I'm personally pursuing, addressing some of the potential healthcare inequities in our community, providing primary care and pediatric care, et cetera, to the people who can't afford or do not have any health insurance or access to primary care. And I'm reaching out to the San Ysidro Community Clinics and their leadership, which they are excited about pursuing and are currently doing due diligence on collecting data for this region to support the possibility of bringing in a community healthcare clinic to Casa de Oro to address those needs. And finally, as was added to this list the other night, asking Joel how he can, with his nexus to the state Capitol building and funding up there in Sacramento, what the plans are and what the progress report will be for the 125 connector, which many of us who have lived here for so long are wondering why hasn't that done in the past. We know it's all about dollars and cents, and we will continue to hear there is no money, but we want to keep that foot to the metal and see if we can keep this top of mind for Joel and the rest of the supervisors in San Diego County. So with that, Dusty, is there any comment, question, anything that we need to take a look at that can't be deferred and we should address tonight?
Not that I am necessarily seeing. It looks like, just a lot of comments in regards to how amazing it would be to have a community health center and clinic in Casa de Oro, which I completely agree with.
Yeah.
In regards to questions, we're pretty good. Looks like we answered most of them, and we're good to end it if that's good for you.
Well, yeah, and we do have goals that we'll post on our website for 2021. We don't have time tonight to get everybody's input about what goals they might have for this community, but we don't pretend to know it all. We're a group of volunteers who have lived here collectively for over 100 years, but nonetheless, things can slip through. So if you have some topic, some suggestion that we've overlooked that you think should be a priority, if you have ideas in which we can submit grants for funding to improve Casa de Oro, please let us know on our website or any other vehicle that we are collecting data and information from you on. Okay. We continue to work closely with the Institute of Public Strategies, and we are working more closely this coming year with the other communities in East County. And as a combined group of stakeholders, we'll make a louder pledge to some of the needs for East County if we all work together. So with that, I just want to close by saying we're always looking for volunteers. We're always looking for new blood with new ideas. So please, we welcome your ideas through our committee structure, and look at our website to see if there's some interested area that you may have to participate in one of our committees. So speaking on behalf of the Casa de Oro Alliance Board of Directors, we would like to wish everyone a most happy and healthy new year. Be safe, take good care. I hope this helped you and help you understand what we're doing, and continue to provide information and be as transparent as we possibly can, but we continue to welcome your input. Hope to see you all at our next community forum. Hopefully within the next 30 days, we'll announce what that topic will be and who, if any, speaker will be. So with that, is there anything a board member would like to share? And I would like to thank all of our board members for participating tonight before we close.
I believe our next General Assembly meeting would be March 18th.
What's wrong with that date?
It's your birthday.
Well, okay.
There's nothing wrong with that date.
We can celebrate that date.
We'll have a date for everybody.
Does anybody else have any other comments from the board before we close?
Bob, just one from Ed. And it really just, Dustin, I'm able to see some of the chat here on the board. I did see one that referred about, I think it's East County Youth Coalition, but it went back to the notion about painting the utility boxes down along Campo Road. So I can say that at one point in time, that was a much more active proposal. There were some conversations between staff from the Institute for Public Strategies, IPS, that Bob mentioned, and Monte Vista High School. I think there still is every opportunity, along with our beautification committee, not to speak on their behalf, but to re-engage and to pursue that again with the utility companies and to see if we can't get approvals to be able to paint those boxes.
Yeah. And thanks for bringing that up, Ed.
Sure.
And for Mark Campillo, who's on the chat room right now, who's on our advisory council. One of the efforts that this board has been making over the years is to try to more, what's the word I'm looking for? More productively, more successfully represent who Casa de Oro is. And we're looking for, continuing to look for diversity, young and old, of any color, race, creed, etc., to be represented on this board so that we truly represent the interests of Casa de Oro and the people that live here. So if you know somebody who has those interests, we do have some people on our advisory council who meet those needs for us and represent those needs for us, but we're continuing and strive to bring that diversification to our board and our advisory council. Let us know, please. And with that, is there anybody else who has any other comments?
I don't know. We don't have the sheriff. If you want to speak to this, there's just a couple people asking specifically about the topic of the illegal pot shops, but that's your discretion.
I will. I have a relationship with Lieutenant, as I've had personally as the president with the prior lieutenants over the years, and I speak to the lieutenant probably every week about the progress they're making or not making on the dispensaries. He has participated with our boards in 2020. We did learn that in the summer of 2020, all of the, at that time, through the summer, illegal dispensaries were addressed by the DA. They went through appeal and they lost. And according to the county, could have been closed. What the lieutenant has shared with us carefully and confidentially in some cases, to the extent he can, is that the county and the sheriff's department are working on what he calls the criminalization process, the next steps of addressing the illegal dispensaries throughout East County, if not the entire county. And the word he's used for me and for our board is just be patient. Well, personally, I've lost some patience for how long it's taken since the DA has agreed that these are illegal, which they all are anyway, and they lost their appeal process. Even today or yesterday, I spoke to him, and he tells me that this is moving forward, and he shared some things confidentially that he asked I wouldn't repeat, although he's optimistic. I thought we would see these closures on Campo Road before the first of the year. That didn't happen, and since subsequent to that, we see a new one again opening up on Dolores, which I learned from one of our board members that building sold, and so the prior owner who was convicted of selling illegal pot or marijuana and now has a new title to that building, so they opened up another dispensary. So trust us, this board knows that this is a priority for this community. We know it's an issue for our children and our teenagers in this community. I do know, and I've learned over the years, that they have purchased illegal drugs through these pot shops in addition to just marijuana. The sheriff is aware of that. And all I can say is that I have to trust the process. I trust the lieutenant. I trust his staff. I know they're working diligently on doing everything possible, but I've said this from day one, the fastest way to get anything done with the county is to go slow. So that's what's happening right now. We can't do anything else about it. If we could, we would, but we've done as much as we can to address this very, very, very sensitive topic, and one that we're all very frustrated with. Recently it was referred to me as that we should brand Casa de Oro as the green light district, with all these ugly big green signs and lights all over these storefronts. We're angry. We're not happy with what's going on. We're going to see some action with this. I'm confident within the next 90 days. And if that happens and this criminalization ordinance or whatever they're going to put in place will preclude the proliferation of these dispensaries in the future once and for all, then maybe this patience has been worthwhile. So I'll ask you just to continue to be patient with your board and your advisory council and the sheriff's department, because we know they're working towards the same goals we have. Anything else, Dusty, in the chat room? If not, I think we can sign off. Thank everybody for joining us and hope they join us again in a couple of months.
Looks good.
Thank you.
All right, thank you all. Be safe and take care out there.
Thank you.
Good night. Good night.
Thank you.
Night.
Good evening all.
Thank you.
Bye.
Welcome.
Thank you.
Good night.